What is up, all my dorks, nerds, geeks, and gamers? It's your host, Ghost here, and you're watching a brand new episode of Wet Ink. Today we're going to continue on with our coverage of God of War Fallen God. Today we're looking at issues 3 and 4. So we're going to hop right into issue 3, as always, and then we're going to talk about it and give our opinions. And then we'll give our final score at the end here. So, like I said last time, at the end of that issue, Kratos finally did get rid of the Blades of Chaos, but those first two issues are a lot of exposition, a lot of talking, a lot of explaining the story of what's going to happen. Whereas these last two issues are all the action scenes, every action scene you can need in this series is all in here. Unfortunately, it makes it a little bit lopsided and uneven when you have this whole complete story, but we'll get to that towards the end of this. So we start off here with Kratos jumping towards the Chaos Beast, this giant crocodile that came out of the water, or that was scaring all these villagers. So Kratos does not have the Blades of Chaos, so he's going after this thing with his fists. He's punching it, he's slamming it down, he's using his knees, he's kneeing it in the head. He's getting flung around, of course. Without his Blades of Chaos, he's not doing so well. There's even a point where he almost gets bit in half, and he actually has to grab the teeth with his hands, one on the top jaw, one on the bottom jaw. And that's when he finally snaps and rips its whole head in half and apart, right there at the jaw. Amazingly bloody scene, which that's something that was missing in the last two issues as well, was a lot of bloody scenes. And you have Kratos as a main character, so you're going to want a lot of bloody scenes. So Kratos is finally done. He's like, I finally killed this thing. Aren't you people happy? But he notices that the people are still running and they're still scared. And he says, why are you scared? The monster is dead. And that's when that Egyptian god comes back to him and he says, you still have not fulfilled your purpose. You still have not killed the Chaos Beast. And Kratos is like, what are you talking about? I killed it. It's right here. And he's like, oh, no, that's not the Chaos Beast. There's something bigger coming. And that's when you see the ocean in the background start to go up, and Kratos is like, what? And that's when the true Chaos Beast shows himself, this giant hippopotamus. With the Egyptian gods, it would make sense that it would be a hippo. And basically it shows himself. Kratos is like, I'm not going to fight this. This is ridiculous. I do not want to fight this. I'm going to run away. He tries to run. The hippo growls at him and refuses to let him get away, let him run away. And so Kratos says, okay, fine, I'm going to take this thing on. He turns around, still does not have the Blades of Chaos. Remember, he does not have them in this issue. Turns around, goes to fight this thing, so he jumps in the air with his power fist and he hits it on the nose. And just like an ant to a boot, he gets kicked and he goes flying hard. And he lands into this mountain with a crash, and he's knocked out. He's done at the end of this issue. He did what he could without the Blades of Chaos, but he failed. So basically it shows that Kratos is only Kratos with the Blades of Chaos in this issue. So that's the thing I really, really like about it. So I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. It was solid. It had the action scenes I wanted. But I wish there was a little bit more meat and potatoes when it comes to the writing of it. All the writing in this is damn you to hell, I'm going to kill this thing, I have to slaughter this thing, why are these people running? That's all this is in this issue here. So for that reason I give it an 8 out of 10 just for that reason alone. So, moving on to issue 4. This is the final issue of the God of War Fallen God saga. There's only 4 issues, so it's very short and sweet, but if you guys enjoy this one, stay tuned, because I would like to go through the God of War 2018 comic book storyline from Image Comics, which ties a little bit more heavily into the God of War 2018 game that came out. So, back on topic here, God of War Fallen God number 4. We start off with Kratos kind of floating in the darkness, because I assume he died when he hit that mountaintop. And he's kind of floating around. He doesn't know what's going on until he comes upon these two figures. One is a crane, and one is Athena herself. And the crane being the Egyptian god that's been helping Kratos throughout this whole journey in the Fallen God storyline. That's when they explain to Kratos that you have no chance of winning if you don't have the Blades of Chaos. And so Athena shows him the Blades of Chaos and says you have to accept them. You do not have a choice. This is your destiny. And basically the Egyptian guy is saying the same things that is foretold throughout all the years and blah, 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 blah. But a cool thing we get here is that we do have to actually see that the monkey and the crane and the Egyptian god are all the same guy. So it is not two different Egyptian gods that are kind of talking to Kratos. It's just this one person who's working with Athena to push him down this path that he needs. Kratos basically gets pushed into a corner and he accepts the Blades of Chaos because he knows it's the only way that he's going to be able to defeat this thing. But so yeah, he accepts them, he gets sent back to life, and he wakes up with a fury. There's flames everywhere, he's slashing and cutting everything up, especially this hippopotamus. So there's about 3 pages where he's just slashing, hacking, going nuts on this thing, left and right, cutting off limbs, cutting off pieces of flesh. And this thing's still not going down. And so it starts chasing after him. And Kratos says, okay, fine, right here's where I want you. He wraps his blade around it once, he wraps his blade around the other time, and he pulls on both sides of its head. And he basically decapitates this thing. And we get this beautiful shot of Kratos covered in blood. Very brutal, very God of War-esque, and also very Image Comic-esque, if you guys are fans of their comics as well. Beautiful artwork. Like, that's the main reason why this series stands out on its own. Because God of War, the world is so fresh with these characters, and the gory, bloody elements mixed with the ancient elements makes for a beautiful setting. So Kratos wins. He destroyed the Chaos Beast. He's finally done, and not only is he done, but he's sitting with a campfire. He's basically eating this thing. And that's when the Egyptian god shows up to him with Athena, and they basically tell him, your journey's not done yet. You have a lot farther place to go with more gods to fight and more things to take care of. And Kratos basically says, damn me to hell, as it fades to black, and he walks towards the Norse mythology that we know he's going to end up in eventually. So yeah, that's how this ends. What an ending, what a series. I gotta say, I definitely love this series just for the artwork alone. And just to get a little bit more about Kratos' backstory, unfortunately, the storyline they went with is the one we've seen 1,000 times, with Kratos wanting to change his past and not being able to. That's literally the plotline of every single God of War game ever made, ever. Kratos doesn't want to work for the gods, but he has to. He's forced to. It's basically the same storyline we get in this as well. So if it wasn't for the beautiful artwork and just the overarching world of God of War, I think I wouldn't have enjoyed this as much as I did. So issue 4, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for finishing strong. I wish it had a little bit better ending there with the way it ended, with Kratos basically just giving up and giving in to the gods. But yeah, that's just what I think on it. So 8 out of 10 for issue 3, 9 out of 10 for issue 4. Let me know down below what you guys thought of the God of War Fallen God series, if you guys have read them. And did you guys enjoy them or not? Let me know down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, or share. And as always, guys, keep it right here on Dorks Den. I've been your host, Ghost. Adios.